Hello, I'm Aaron Lakota, once again at Jerry's Music Shop in South Hadley, Massachusetts. And now I'm going to talk about intonation on the oboe. So this is a pretty important idea on the instrument, just like any other instrument. There's a lot of flexibility with intonation on the oboe. Okay, so we have this reed, and if we put more reed in our mouth, we're going to be sharp. If we get less reed in our mouth, we're going to be flat. If we're not using our support correctly, we're going to be flat. If we're pushing too much air, we're going to be sharp. So you have to basically, how I like to think of the oboe as, you have to be a singer, okay? So you have to know what the intonation, where you need to be pitch-wise, and respond to what you're hearing at the moment, okay? So as far as the embouchure is concerned with intonation, I'm just going to demonstrate a few different things with that. So if we have too much reed in our mouth, like I said, we're going to be sharp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll the reed in and out of my mouth, and you're going to get it's going to give you some ideas about pitch and what you can do with pitch. So you can hear from that there's a big range of pitch that you can get from the instrument. That's an advantage and a disadvantage. If you're playing in an orchestra and you need to match pitch with somebody, it's a big advantage because you can just go with whatever the other player is doing. However, if you're not quite sure of where you should be pitch-wise, it can be a big challenge for you. Okay, so something that's helpful to do while practicing is you can play with a tuner, but even more than that, what I suggest is playing with a piano or playing with a pitch. Okay, so if you set your tuner at an A and you play your A major scale with the tuner, or if you set it at a G and just play your scale with the tuner, that'll give you a good idea of where you need to be pitch-wise and sort of how to adjust that. So ultimately what we're doing is we're trying to train our ears more than anything. So you have to be sensitive with the oboe to be matching pitches of things. So you have to have the sound in your head, and then you have to play it that way. Okay, so if you listen to a piano play, a major scale, it's going to be very even. So if you can match the intervals of that, it'll do you a lot of good in the process. So if you're playing a major scale, let's just take G, which happens, I've been playing a lot, and it demonstrates the point. So what you want to do is, as you're playing the scale, in your head, be thinking each pitch of the scale. Okay? So as I'm playing G, I'm thinking do, re, mi, fa, and so on and so forth, up the scale. And I have that pitch in my ear before I even play it. Okay? It's important to know where you're going with that. And even with that, you may have, if you have really good ears, you may have caught that when I hit certain notes, they weren't instantly in tune. Okay, I was responding to them. So you respond very quickly to the intonation. So you have to know exactly where you're going to be with that. So here I have a drone. I'm going to play a G major scale with the drone. So what I'm listening for is just to make sure that all my intervals within the scale are relating back to the G on the drone. So as always, we just want to be with the sound that we're creating, with the pitch and with the tone always. As I mentioned before, pitch can be adjusted with rolling the reed in and out of your mouth. So think of it not so much as pushing against your lip, but rolling the lip with the reed into your mouth. So here's what I mean by that. So if we have the reed here on our lip, we're just going to roll it in and out like this. So it's just really small adjustments. So this is especially helpful if you're tuning the orchestra. So traditionally the oboe will tune the orchestra to an A. Sometimes even in concert bands, the oboe will tune the concert band to a B flat. Depends on where you are and what your conductor wants. But let's say that you're tuning the orchestra. What you want to do is get the pitch of the A in your head, and then respond to what comes out of the instrument. So if you play your A, now if you're coming out a little bit flat, you're going to want to roll the reed in ever so slightly. If you're coming in a little bit sharp, you may have to either open your jaw a little bit or make sure that you don't have too much reed in your mouth. So you can hear that there's a lot of variation on the pitch just by rolling the reed in and out.